Good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Local to Me. This is Heather Alto.
And this is Diane, and we are glad that you tuned in again today on your lunch break.
We are going to really quickly, I want to thank our sponsor, Sunburst Vinyl Supply. If you are looking for, something, home improvements to your home, whether it be windows, siding, gutters, you need to contact Sunburst Vinyl. They are phenomenal. They do great work. They are local, and we are so appreciative of them for being a sponsor of our show. So thank you so much to Sunburst Vinyl. And again, you can check them out on Facebook or their website. And we have a really good show today for
I'm excited.
everyone that's listening. So
Who do we have?
we are going to be joined by Camille Schreier, Miss America 2020, and Carrie Wright, and she does the marketing with Chick-fil-A. She's also our Young Professional Athena Award winner last year. So we're going to have both of them with us in just a little bit. They'll be calling in. And so I'm really excited to talk with both of them. Camille she was our keynote speaker for our last year's Empower event, and she was fantastic. And so
Down to earth.
Yeah, she really was.
Sometimes you think of, people, you see them on TV and all that stuff, and then you meet them in person, and she was just like you had known her forever.
Yep. And her mom who was with her.
Yes.
They were super sweet. And I loved how they, connected with even the young, because we had some people that brought their daughters that had done pageants before, and how she connected with them too. And I think when we speak with her, I think what was great about, not that every past contestant wasn't great, but I think what was wonderful about Camille is that what she did kind of opened the door.
It did, yeah.
For young girls, or even, girls that are thinking to themselves, can I be Miss America without, I'm not going to go out there and sing opera.
Right.
I'm not going to go out there and twirl a baton because nobody, I'd just be hitting myself in the head.
I want to see that, Heather.
So I think, what she did by coming in and doing the STEM experiment was it was amazing. So I'm excited to talk to her in just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What is outside? The sun.
Oh my gosh. I was like, I don't know.
Everybody turned around and looked.
We did. We were like, who is out there?
The sun. What is that with that? Sorry.
I'm really excited about the sun, Diane.
Got a stalker in the window.
Actually, the last...
Do I need to call the cops?
I knew because my back is to the window. I'm like, wait, who's there? No, the weather is gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. But it's that time of year where, especially during a pandemic, and you get to coughing and sneezing and snotting, and it's just allergies.
Yep.
And everybody thinks you have COVID.
People, yeah, they do. They look at you like, what do you got?
Yes.
But I will say, I get excited this time of year because I want to start planting my garden.
Yeah.
And I actually have 2 lots over in Bedford. They have the urban gardens that are in the middle of town. And I get so excited. I want to plant things, and you shouldn't plant, a lot of your stuff shouldn't go in yet because I don't think we've had the last frost, of course.
Well, then you got to worry about covering it. And when it's not directly outside your house, then you have to worry about that. And then taking the cover off in time, so it doesn't get burned the next day. So,
well, see, you know more than I do because I just put them in the ground. I'm like, let it grow.
See
what I get.
Sing that.
So, no, but I did go up to Whippledale and
they've got gorgeous plants.
Get some plants and some flowers. And fortunately, one of the flowers I kept outside and it didn't make it. I said, I'm going to have to go back and get some more. So, but if you're looking for some local, somewhere to go and get like plants and stuff for your garden, I highly recommend going up to Whippledale in Big Island. They had some fantastic stuff there. So
they do.
Just wanted to throw a plug out that way because I know a lot of people are currently, they're starting to look at where can they go to get seeds or starter plants or even just bulbs for their flower bed. So I wanted to make sure to send people.
Fun fact, they do the baskets in the town of Bedford that hang on the streets.
Yes. And they do the mums for us for Centerfest.
Yes, they do.
And so they're gorgeous.
Yeah. And it's beautiful scenery out there. Like, stop and get you some coffee, drive on out there, talk with them. I saw on their Facebook post they've got those hanging baskets, but they're in the, what is it, a colander? Did you see that?
Mm-mm,
That's
no.
really cool. They're like bright pastel colors.
Oh, well, I'm going to have to go get one when I go to replace the one that I so lovely left out in the frost. And
Well, this way, though, it's a double gift for you because when you kill your plant, then you can just use the colander
use it
in
in the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
I'm much better at cooking
Gotta
than I
drain
am
my spaghetti.
plant growing. I definitely don't have a green thumb. I try every year, bless my heart. I'll say my own bless my heart because I do. It's just bad. But so talking about Whippledale, they're one of our members, and we are going to chat a little bit today in between our callers about the CVABC, which is the organization that Diane and I are both a part of, and what we do and how we help businesses. And just to put out a quick plug, today and tomorrow are the last 2 days. If you are a small business, they are the last 2 days that you can join our organization for the $75 annual fee. Normally, we have a fee of $125. That is going to go up April 1st. We've had it at $75 now for around a year.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be taking it back up to our regular price. So if you are listening and you've been sitting there thinking, should I join the CVABC? I don't know why you shouldn't.
Stop questioning yourself
Exactly.
and just do it.
It's amazing. We do so much for small business. And I don't even just say, myself and Diane. It's an amazing group to be a part of. Just the members that we have, how they work together. I love watching how our members will do things for others and make sure they're referring each other or boosting each other up. And so for $75, and that is a year, that's not monthly, that is for a full year. So from March 30th, 2021 to March 30th, 2022. And you get, right now, we have like over $2,000 in free advertising that you get with your package. So can't beat it. Check out our website, cvabc.org. And you can actually join straight from the site, or you can contact either one of us and find out more. But
and restaurants have a good deal too.
Oh, yeah. Restaurants have an amazing deal. So if you're a restaurant and you're listening, you can join. That $75 actually can be done in gift card trade. So if you want to give us like $115 and, 6 10s or however you want to do that, we actually use those throughout the year for promotion. And so you'll get added promotion when we do the giveaways, but also we'll be pushing people to go back to your business and eat and enjoy the food that they'll be able to use with that gift card. So definitely encourage you to contact us for that. But speaking of, who are some of our new members? We've had people rolling in this week.
We have had so many new members that I didn't write a few down. I just brought my laptop in because I figured it was easier to do it this way. We have had, 35 new members this month.
Just this month, yes. Crazy.
Heartland Hospice signed up. They are in Roanoke.
And they, I got to meet Holly because she came to our annual luncheon.
Okay.
So that was really good. I got to meet her there, and I'm excited to have them on.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of spring and planting, Heather, you have two options. You can also get some plants to replace your dead ones at Gary's Garden Center. They joined.
Yes,
they did.
For those of you who don't remember Gary's Garden Center, it used to be on Waterlick Road.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gary retired, and now they're back, and they're on Leesville Road now.
Yes.
And definitely, if you went there in the past, you're going to get that same great service. So I definitely encourage you to stop by and see their new location.
Mm-hmm. The Stitch Witch here in the town of Bedford joined. That's a brand new business owned by Erica McFadden, and she is going to be moving into where the Nested Magpie is, at that little cottage.
I love that little cottage.
Isn't it cute?
So Stitch Witch, does she do like crocheting or what?
And I think she's going to be selling the yarn and all of that. And I think she's going to be giving classes. Okay. So we should do that, and then we can make each other sweaters.
We'll make Woody a sweater. Let's make him a Christmas
Please,
sweater.
please do. Please make me
I'm gonna
a
make
Christmas
Woody a
sweater.
Christmas
I
sweater.
will wear it proudly every day.
Because I'm so looking forward to that. So yeah, Erica, go ahead and put us down for Christmas sweater knitting, because we're definitely going to need to do that. But that's exciting because I know a lot of people that like to do that, and don't. This gives them an option to not have to drive to Roanoke or Lynchburg,
Right.
to big box stores like Michael's, or they can get their stuff local.
And in the past with my grandbabies, I would make them I would knit them a blanket. And I say knit loosely because I cheat and I have to use that wheel thing. What are they called? You get them from Walmart. It's like a loom. It's plastic.
Oh, I've seen
and
those.
it's always breaking.
I'm not even going to pretend like I've ever knitted anything.
Yeah.
But I've seen them.
Is it crochet? I don't know. I don't know the difference. But I wish I would have taken time back then to learn from my grandmother how to do it. But I would always have to go to Walmart and get the yarn, and you're limited on, it's just the standard, everybody's got the same thing type thing. So I'm excited about her shop. Definitely. Black Goose Chimney Service here in Thaxton joined.
I always get a lot of people asking me about chimney sweep.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. It's great to have somebody there that I can refer.
Definitely. Because we don't have one in our membership besides them, right?
Nope.
So get your chimneys swept.
Just chimney swept.
Scrub Connections. They joined. They're in Lynchburg.
So I'm excited about them, and I think if you're a health professional, definitely want to check them out. And I checked out their website too, because she does a lot. You can order online, but they sell all kinds of things for our your local healthcare professionals that are looking to get, whether it's like the scrubs that you wear, or even the shoes, the what are those Dankos? I think that's what they're called. My daughter's a nurse, so she's
So
anyway. But yeah, definitely check them out.
And warm weather is coming, so get your pool taken care of, and you can call R&R Pool Care. So we, as you see, our membership is just a wide variety of all these businesses between restaurants and services. So, if you're in need of getting your chimney swept and your pool done, or electric, plumbing, construction, all of that, go to our website and click on the directory, and it's broken up into sections, and you go on there, and I highly recommend all of them.
One that I'll mention too, because I actually had someone contact yesterday looking for, especially if you're out at the lake, looking for someone to resurface their deck or their patio, or their dock, even leading out to where their boats are. And we just had a new member, Blackwater Resurfacing, join this week, and that is what they specialize in. So if you're looking for somebody to resurface your deck or your patio or a pool surface around your pool, they're definitely one to check out too.
Yeah. So get all that spring cleaning done, the maintenance.
I do love the fact that, not only do we have a wide variety of businesses that join in different type of, I say genres, but you know what I mean? They're different categories. We have them from so many different areas, which I think is great because we cover Amherst to Roanoke. We have members in Bedford, Smith Mountain Lake, Rustburg. You name it.
Yeah,
if it's in this area, we got somebody
Lexington.
in there. And one thing I always push to people is do business kind of outside of your comfort zone. You're going to, just because you live in, let's say, Rustburg, doesn't mean you can't go to Roanoke. Or if you're living in Lynchburg, come to Bedford. If, you don't have to just stay right there within, where you're comfortable at, because I think you find that you can get great service, and you find a real gem somewhere, and you're just oh my goodness, I didn't even know they were here, they existed, and they do such a great job. And so that's kind of why I love the fact that we are all over. We have businesses joining, from the small entrepreneur to our members that are larger.
And the one thing that I like, because we just had a coffee talk last Friday, and that is our third year gold winning? Fourth year?
Fourth
I'm
year.
behind the times.
Fourth year.
Wow. we're better than I thought we were. Um, but what I love to do is kind of walk around, and some people call it eavesdropping. I don't know. But I do like to listen because they're connecting with each other, and you'll have somebody from a completely different area, and they're talking about how to collaborate with each other, or, hey, I have this issue. Have you had this issue? And how did you solve it? And that's what I love about our members, is that they deeply care about each other, and they support each other, and they're there for each other. And I just love it.
Yeah, when you said something about we're better than we thought I was going to be like, Woody, we need one of those toot your own horn, toot toot. But we I think that with things like Coffee Talk and the events that we do, we actually do those with our businesses in mind. So we're trying to make sure that we are scheduling things that are going to be important, like our upcoming Empower Women's event that we're going to be hosting on May 6th. And this is for women to kind of leadership and growth. And we're already selling tickets pretty quickly. And we're going to give you some more information about that in just a minute. But we do have with us Camille Schreier, Miss America 2020. And we're going to kind of speak with her a little bit. How are you doing today, Camille?
I'm doing well. So great to chat with you guys.
It is so great to chat with you. I'm so excited that you had an opportunity to call in so we could speak with you. We were just talking about how when you were here back in July, just how down to earth you were, and how wonderful it is to meet you back then and to be able to talk with you today.
Well, thank you. That feels like a lifetime ago. And that was my first real event out after COVID happened. So that was a memorable one for me, but it feels like a million years ago now.
It really does. 2020 was hard on everybody, I think.
I was looking back at pictures.
It was.
And yeah, I was thinking the same thing, how long ago it was.
It was crazy. And, when we look back at those pictures, also what you were kind of mentioning, and seeing all of us in masks, and, it was one of the first events that I was at where it was completely mask mandatory. And so I'm just grateful that we were able to do that in person, because I was so grateful to be there, really, and being able to especially empower the women in the room and share my story, which is just something I always get so much satisfaction out of. And so I'm glad that you're able to do it again this year, and don't have to delay it like we did before.
Yes, definitely. So speaking of COVID, tell us a little bit about how you operated as Miss America with COVID and having to do a lot of things virtually instead of being kind of in person like most, the past Miss Americas were able to.
Yeah, it's interesting because like everyone else around the country, or most people around the country, I was doing a job that wasn't really meant to ever be done from home. And I had to adapt that position to a work from home position in a way that so many of us have not faced before. And, I think when I look back at, my experience even before becoming Miss America, having a science background makes you incredibly innovative for a lot of ways. And so using technology to be able to connect myself around the world. Also, we have social media, which although that can be detrimental in so many ways, I think it can also help us be able to connect and stay in tune with everyone else. And so I used social media a lot. I used the internet a lot, lots of Zooms like everyone else. But I was also able to continue a lot of the science advocacy that I was doing with PBS, actually out of Central Virginia, so VPM. And we did an entire show together called Cooking Up Science with Miss America, where I did science in my kitchen from home. So really cool, unique opportunities that I wouldn't have had if I hadn't been Miss America during a pandemic.
I think that is so neat. I know I mentioned before, and I think you kind of broke the mold for Miss America. And this is just my opinion. I may be wrong. But, doing the science experiment as your talent, I think really opened doors. How, what made you, how did you come up with the decision to do that versus, just singing or dancing or, some of the things that normally are done for a talent?
To be quite honest, I can't do the other things that most girls do for talent. So I was trying to figure out what I could do that would allow me to compete for the opportunity without, the certain skill set that some other women have in terms of singing, dancing, playing an instrument. Some women are baton twirlers or can do ventriloquism, which are so cool, but I just don't have those talents. And so I had to figure out, and again, solving a problem, right? I had to figure out how to solve that problem, but I also wanted whatever I did to be really true to who I was. And I think that was why I was so adamant about not just doing something that wasn't really true to who I was. Could I have gone, and gotten some voice lessons and tried to figure something out that maybe it would have been subpar? I could have done that. But it wouldn't have helped me, and it wouldn't have probably led to me winning in the end. So I'm really glad that I just stayed true to who I was and did something really different, and that it kind of went with my whole package of the Science Girl winning. And I never expected to actually be successful with it, but you can't knock it till you try it.
That's true. What was the initial reaction from the other contestants when they found out that you would be doing a science experiment?
It's mixed. Some people are excited about it because it is different, but a lot of women and really people involved in the organization who had been involved for a long time were kind of skeptical. And especially when I was successful in using something like this to allow me to continue and win, I think that some people were confused by that. And it was an opportunity for me to show how Miss America can stay relevant in 2020 when we're talking about women's empowerment and we're trying to talk about getting more young women into STEM careers. It was more than just a talent performance. And I think that that's what I focus on. But the reaction has been some positive, some negative, but you can't please everybody. So I focus on the positives that I can do with it.
I remember watching that night because my daughter and I were sitting in the living room and we were watching, and especially since you were Miss Virginia leading into it, of course, that always is exciting. And so we were watching, and I think my husband had fallen asleep, but he realized there was no bathing suit competition, so he was out. But but no, we were sitting there, we were watching, and then when you came out to do your talent, I found that you were so engaging with it too. Like you were truly enjoying being out there and doing something that you found fun and, interesting. And I think that had a lot to do with it too, because you truly pulled us into like, oh my gosh, how is she doing this? And then when everything went flying up in the air, like my daughter was just like, oh my gosh, and she was so excited about that. But I think that just showed all the younger generation that was watching, you can be smart and you can do stuff like you can still be Miss America, and I think sometimes in the past, Miss America gets the bad rap that you have to be
stereotyped.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I thought that was great.
Thank you. And I do enjoy it so much. And I think that at that point, being in the final five and being able to share the talent demonstration on national television, I frankly didn't care if I won at the end in that point, because I was just so excited to have made it as far as I did, and especially to have the opportunity to share that piece of what I do to a national audience on a program like that. That was the real win for me. I was so thrilled. And if I had made it that far, I knew I was going home with more scholarship money. And so at that point, I'm just like, hey, I'm here for this. And I will tell you, I watched that performance back and I talked so fast because I was so afraid that I was going to go over time and that they were going to cut me off, that I sped through my demonstration. And I look back and I'm like, girl, you got to slow down, because I was so excited.
Tell us a little bit about your platform, because I know with Miss America, everyone has to have, a platform that they're going to be talking about for the year that they are. Tell us a little bit about your platform and why you chose it.
Absolutely. And it's interesting, actually, every title holder from the local level in every state, and every state title holder and Miss America has her own platform. So it's something that even if you never really become Miss America, that you get this opportunity to be able to advocate for a social cause that's important to you. And for me, when I decided to compete, it kind of gave me the catalyst to want to figure out what social cause was important to me. And being a doctor of pharmacy student, I started to realize how, dangerous medications can be. They have a lot of power. And so if they're used properly, they can really, really help us. But if they're not used properly, they can be really dangerous. And taking that in kind of two directions, when I'm thinking about helping parents and kids with medication safety in the home, preventing poisonings, but then also informing and educating about the risks of potential substance use disorders that can come out of certain medications or illicit drugs. And so I combined those and I decided to call my initiative Mind Your Meds. And so I work with so many different groups of people, from school-age children all the way up to adults who are in inpatient recovery centers going through substance use disorder treatment. And so I have a really broad opportunity to be able to make an impact. And really my overall message is to respect substances for the power that they have. And I think that that's something that's really important for all of us to recognize, because very few of us have never taken a medicine or something that's made us feel differently in our lives. Even if you think of just having a cold and taking NyQuil or something over the counter, those are substances, and we have to be able to really understand what they can do for us.
And I don't know if anyone that's listening is kind of like me. I'm a culprit of, I get medication and I stuff it all in like my medicine cabinet. And then I don't always end up finishing it.
Yeah.
They tell you should take all of it, but then you start to feel better and you're like, oh, I don't need it anymore. So it's just sitting there. So then you have all these random bottles just sitting. And after so long, you forget what they're for. If you're someone who is like that, what should you do with leftover medication?
That's a great question. And the answer is, do not flush them down your toilet. That is not what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
The best thing that you can do is actually, most pharmacies or local police stations have medication drop boxes. So they are like safe deposit boxes for medicines where you can safely dispose of them. And then they will be probably incinerated. They'll be discarded in a way that is safe and keeps them out of the wrong hands. And it's actually important that you brought that up, because from an abuse perspective, having medications that have addiction potential in your home can be dangerous for so many reasons. And if you have potentially kids that might be curious and trying different things, it's important to keep those away. But from another level, if you think about accidental poisonings of kids, I think the statistics are it's one of the most common ways that kids are poisoned is from leftover medications in the home that they have access to. So if you're not using it, it's better to just get rid of it. So go to your pharmacy, go to your police station. And I actually got to work with the DEA this year, and they have a biannual National Prescription Drug Take Back Day. And I got to do all of the public service announcements for that in 2020. And that's something that happens twice a year, every year, where the local community will really get together and promote medication disposal. But it's not something that only really happens twice a year. You can do it all the time, but definitely look out for those days. I think there might be one actually coming up next month. So stay tuned. You can check that out online.
Okay. Yeah, I just, and I also noticed, they make the little childproof caps, but kids are getting smarter these days. I know mine can open, she got hers open once and she was like, well, it's not too childproof. And I'm like, well, darn it.
Sometimes they're adult proof. But my son just received a prescription of Lortab. And when I picked it up from the pharmacy, it came with this stuff that you can mix with it to, I guess, get rid of it if he didn't finish taking it. I had never seen that before.
That's also true. That's a drug deactivator. So Lortab is a controlled substance. And so that pharmacy is trying to help you to make sure that doesn't get misused if there's any extra. So there actually are, it's interesting that they gave that to you. That's another way to dispose of medications. They do have deactivation kits, which allow you to then throw the medication in regular trash. It's not always the most environmentally friendly, depending on how it's done, but it's a really effective way, especially in communities that don't have access to potentially a safe drop box for their medications, just to make sure that it's not going to be misused by someone. So it's actually awesome that your pharmacy gave that to you.
I'd never heard of that. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. And it's actually important, especially when you think of something like Lortab. And for people that don't know what that is who are listening, it's hydrocodone acetaminophen. So it's an opioid. And we hear so much about the opioid epidemic and opioid use disorder in the country. And so especially medications that are opioids, it's so incredibly important. I cannot stress it enough that those get disposed of properly from an overdose risk. And I think of, there's so much overdose in the country right now. We lose almost 220 people every day to an opioid overdose right now. 220 people today will probably lose their life from an opioid overdose. And one of the most proactive ways that we can prevent that is by safely disposing of opioids that we aren't using, getting them out of our homes if we're not using them, and not just leaving them around, because the less that are out there, the better outcome we could have. Of course, there's illicit opioids on the streets like heroin and other types of pills that are manufactured. But if we can do something in our own homes, that's something proactive that we can do to make a difference. So definitely use that disposal kit when you're done with it.
So what do you see life like after Miss America?
Well, I am starting to get into that life now. I'm working from home. I've started my own business where I'm able to do a lot of the advocacy and science education and that I've already been doing, and just continuing that. So I intend to continue what I am doing, but I'll go back to school full time in August. I'm a Doctor of Pharmacy student at Virginia Commonwealth University, and I have taken 2 years off of my graduate education to serve as first Miss Virginia and then secondly as Miss America. And so I'll go back there to finish my remaining 3 years of my graduate program, and then ideally I would like to work in the pharmaceutical industry in some kind of business role and combine business and science education together to make a difference in those companies, and eventually work my way up the chain in one of those companies. So we'll see what opportunities come at me in the future. But for now, I'm headed back to school, and I think I'm going to have a lot of really cool things I'm going to get to do in my career.
Will there be a Miss America pageant this year? Have they talked about that? Has somebody already been crowned?
There sure will be.
Okay.
There has not been anyone crowned for 2021. There should have been a competition at the end of last year where we would crown Miss America 2021.
Right.
But here's the thing. So it's the 100th anniversary of Miss America when we crown the next title holder, the 2021 title holder. So we had to make the decision of, okay, how is this going to work? Are we going to be able to have a celebration? So because of COVID, that got postponed. And I think that they're saying that it's going to be in the fourth quarter of 2021 when we have that competition. So the end of this year, we'll finally have the opportunity to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Miss America program and crown the next title holder. And so even though I'm not working full time as Miss America right now, I will hopefully be able to be there and put that new shiny hat on another girl's head.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that they're going to be able to hopefully have that again. And we thank you so much for calling in and talking with us today and attending our event this past year. It was wonderful to have you. I know my daughter was thrilled that she can tell people she saw Miss America.
We had a great time.
Yeah. When I told her she was getting to sit at the table with you, I mean, her eyes were so big, and I was sitting there thinking she's going to talk her ear off. But I was so glad that she was able to get that experience.
Awesome. I'm so glad that I got to be there as well and speak with her. And I love little girls. I have a soft spot for them because I feel like I was that little girl not too long ago. And I didn't have a lot of really great female role models to look up to. I mean, I did, but I didn't have a lot in science. And so if I can talk to them about science and the things that I get to do, maybe I can inspire them to do the same thing, or even to just keep being themselves. I have a lot of fun with little girls like yours.
Well, thank you again, Camille. I appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing what you do in the future. And, thank you for what you've done this past year just for the Miss America organization in general and for those that have been following you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I hope to see you again soon.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
So if you are listening and we're going to do our Talk Local to Me Tuesday Takeout Trivia question. If you were just listening and you can do math, if you're math,
Which is not us. We can't
she
do that.
actually clued you guys in to the answer for today's trivia question because we were going to say the first Miss America pageant was held in what year? So if you were listening and you are able to, subtract, then call us at 540-712-6221 with your answer. We are going to do a gift certificate giveaway for Jake's Place.
Yes.
Out at the lake. So the lake's getting ready to kick back up. And so you're definitely going to want to go out there and check out Jake's Place. They have some fantastic food. I love Jake's Place.
I ate there just the other day, Sunday afternoon. They have a new burger. It's a Santa Fe burger, and it is phenomenal.
Interesting.
Yum.
I always get their ahi tuna. That's
Their
probably
tuna's good too.
my favorite.
Yes.
And then I get that for the appetizer, and then I do the ahi tuna sandwich. So I'm just like eating all kinds of tuna.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's delicious. So yeah, call us. Let us know if you know the answer to that question.
What is that?
Ooh, we have a caller. Welcome to Talk Local to Me. Do you have the answer to the trivia question?
1921.
You are correct. It is 1921.
Yes.
Who is this? I think I recognize this voice. You're so funny.
It's Tina Miller.
I knew it. I knew it was Miss Tina Miller.
Hello, Tina.
Look at you getting through today. I'm so
Hello.
excited.
So am I.
Well, Tina, we have a gift
You ladies
certificate
are
for you
great.
to Jake's Place. Have you ever been there?
Oh,
Oh, good.
I have not, but I look forward to going.
You're gonna get to go and take that fantastic son of yours to dinner or lunch.
I would do it.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Tina.
so much.
Thanks, sweetie.
You're welcome. All right, bye-bye.
Libby, if you're listening, I'm sorry. Tina beat you today.
Oh, gosh.
So we are going to be talking with Carrie Wright soon, and she works with Chick-fil-A. She does their marketing, and she also spoke. She was one of our speakers at our Empower series last year. So for those that are listening that don't know what our Empower Women's event is, we host this. This will be our third year, and it is a full-day seminar where we bring in speakers to talk. And just it's about lifting each other up, encouraging, learning, and just a full day of just being together with other women and
Celebrating.
celebrating. And we have some great speakers lined up this year.
Mm-hmm.
Our keynote for this event is going to be Mina Starziak with HGTV's Good Bones. So if you've watched that show, you're familiar with who she is. And I am really excited to hear from her because she kind of does something most women don't. She works in construction. I mean, you don't have a lot of women that do that. I know a lot of women. One of our sponsors, FNS Building Innovations, they actually have quite a few women that work in the construction industry. And, I think it's great that we celebrate kind of the diversity of, what women are doing nowadays. And so we're going to be hosting that on May 6th at Amazement Square. And tickets are limited due to COVID restrictions. So you're going to want to hurry up and get your ticket if that is something you want to be a part of. It's $99, but that does cover the full day of speakers, breakfast, lunch, and then a ticket to our Athena luncheon, which is held in July, where we will have our speaker for that is going to be Caitlin Roy DeBellis, and she is the first grade Sandy Hook teacher that saved her first grade classroom
That's going to be emotional.
Yeah, it is. And so it's definitely exciting. And that also, so your ticket includes both events and lunch for both events. So $99 is the early bird rate, and you can sign up for that on our website, cvabc.org, and get your ticket for both events. And you definitely don't want to miss it.
No. And this event has really evolved over the past 3 years. You know, where it started, it was a series of days that we did it. And it's just become this one huge day where we all come together. And it's phenomenal. I tell you, I leave every time and I feel uplifted. I feel happy just being around the energy that these women bring.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know last year when we got done, and we did like a women's panel last year, and just listening to some of our local women that talked about their experiences, I was blown away because I didn't know half of the things that they had gone through.
Right.
And got to where they are as leaders in their organizations or owners of their own business. And I felt more uplifted at the end of the day, even after, learning that, because we were the last event held really before everything got shut back down.
Yeah.
And then when we did the Athena Awards with Miss America, that's when they had kind of opened restrictions back up some, and we held that event, and then we got shut back down kind of again. So, but I think it was something that we were able to do that people really liked. The women, we got nothing but positive feedback from it.
Yeah. Woody, do we have our next guest?
Okay. Well, I'm waiting for Carrie. She's, I think she's getting ready to call in just a second.
Maybe the same thing happened to her that happened to Heather when she called into
No,
the show the other day.
why you got to bring up stuff like that? So,
Oh, don't get me started.
you try to support other podcasts and your local, other
You got
businesses.
burned.
I did. And I called because I knew the trivia question. And they claimed, I'm just going to say claimed they couldn't hear me and that my phone was messing up. And
Due to technical difficulties, a
Yes.
caller was suddenly dropped during contest time, and we deeply regret that incident.
yeah.
How's that for a press release?
Yeah, that's what you should.
They probably thought it was me calling back in.
It's Diane. Never mind.
Yeah, she's irrelevant.
I was like, wait a minute, what just happened? Because I was all excited. I knew the answer. And I was just waiting, for them to answer and be like, yes, you're the winner. You get the gift certificate. And they were like,
But you've been fussing about your cell phone for quite a while.
See?
So-
Thanks, Diane.
You need
So-
to get that cell phone
It's
fixed
Sprint.
there, Heather.
Oops. Well, if Sprint's a sponsor, look, see, she's back. Here we go.
do we have Carrie on the line with us?
I'm here.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to have you with us today. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever either. We were just telling Camille, it seems like the Empower event was so long ago. And I feel like I haven't seen you in person almost since. Have we seen each other since then? I don't think so.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
Maybe at the mall
Oh,
over
yes.
the holidays. But
We
it's been a while.
did, because
It's
you
been a
came to
couple months
Christmas
at
at the
least.
Ridge. That's right. We did.
Yeah.
So we were just talking, and I wanted to kind of start off and let people know, like, can you tell us a little bit, like, what your role is with not just Chick-fil-A, but like what you're doing with like the professional development workshops, even with other businesses? I know that you're going to be working with, a few more this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So I about 2 years ago started being able to go into some businesses here in the Central Virginia area, working with different teams. It kind of started with the request of, hey, what is Chick-fil-A doing so well with customer service and hospitality and guest interaction? And can you come and work with our teams? And up to this point, I've been able to go into about 60 different businesses and work with different teams over the past couple of years.
I'm working on some of that development that has now turned into problem solving, conflict resolution, even just team building and writing curriculum, as well as taking in just some different coaching opportunities, working with Scott Insurance, working with Johnson Health Center, Central Virginia Family Physicians, Women's Health Services, just a lot of different places that are saying, hey, things have been hard for us. Our people are on the front lines. They're getting the brunt of, people just dealing with the pandemic and a year of COVID already. And what can you do to maybe come in and just encourage and build up our team?
So that is something I feel is really needed right now, because I think a lot of people have gotten, kind of down about where things kind of gone with their business in 2020, and will things start to look up in 2021, and I think having someone like you come in and be able to offer those services is really helpful.
Yeah, I think what I've seen as I've been able to work with so many businesses across many different industries is one of two things that's happened throughout this pandemic. Either it was too hard for the business to survive, or they're just barely hanging on, or the opposite was true. And in a Chick-fil-A world, in a healthcare world, they are just rolling all speeds ahead. And really, to speak specifically to Chick-fil-A, they immediately transitioned into 3 lanes of drive-through, having to shut down the dining room, not sure if that business model would even work. Or most recently, I've been working with some healthcare industries that are saying to me, like, listen, our people are just tired. There's no end in sight, because it seems to have been, one of those two scenarios. And so really just kind of coming alongside businesses and saying, hey, I want to help support your team. And I will say too, to a lot of the CEOs and directors and some of these different executives that I've been working with who have asked me to come in, they're really trying to invest in their people and just say, hey, we know it's been hard. We know this has been a really difficult year. We want to come alongside you. We want to encourage you. And we also just want to further equip you and give you some additional tools as you continue to navigate this.
So big shout out to Chick-fil-A though. 'Cause
Yes.
you guys adapted quickly. And I know you've seen them, but the memes that's like, if this were Chick-fil-A, I think when they were talking about giving out vaccines, it was like, they'd have 500 people through in an hour and it'd be all with your pleasure.
I know. Well, Chick-fil-A is always just very efficient anyway, but I mean, just how they stepped up during the pandemic is just amazing.
Yeah, we were, a couple of the leaders and I were talking about it just a few weeks ago. They shut down the dining room last March. And so a year later, who knew this business model would even work? But it has definitely been thriving. And I've seen those memes too. I think there's been a few Chick-fil-A leaders around the country that have actually come in to help with some of the COVID testing sites and even the vaccine sites, just to give their knowledge of how they run a drive-through properly.
That's funny. So speaking of drive-through though, let's talk about this. What's your thoughts on this McDonald's sandwich?
The McDonald's chicken sandwich, if anybody is my friend on social media, then they know that I've fired my son from the family because
I saw
have a
that
12-year-old son who says he likes McDonald's chicken sandwich better.
So I was watching that. And I was not expecting that to be his answer.
Well, I actually tried it because I had to see for myself.
You did. Okay.
And Chick-fil-A by far is the best. But good try for McDonald's though, right?
I don't disagree. I mean, the funny thing is that of course there's just always the saying that complimentary, or it's complimentary and flattering for someone who tries to copy you. So there you go. We'll just count it as a compliment.
So speaking of our Empower event that's coming up, we actually found out that we got silver for Best Professional Development Workshop in our area, which blew me away because last year was only the second year we held that event. But we were silver to somebody else's gold.
Oh, yeah.
which was you. So congrats on that. And tell us a little bit about, what that meant for you guys getting gold for that.
Yeah, thank you so much, and congratulations to you. I didn't even know that was the silver for you guys. So that's amazing. We are in good company together, right? So,
Yes.
about 5 years ago, this goes back actually 8 years now that Lynchburg Living readers and voters have voted us Chick-fil-A the best wait staff in the area. And at the first year we won the award, we thought, are you sure you got the right restaurant? Like we don't really have a wait staff, or at least we didn't really think so. And then it turned into kind of our mission and our goal. In fact, now 8 years running have won gold for the best wait staff. Well, that kind of transitioned and led to, again, those businesses asking us like, hey, what's your secret? How are you winning? Come in and teach our staff. And so started going in, doing some customer service presentations. And then as I mentioned, about 2 years ago, it transitioned to me kind of stepping out. I served in different roles previously, worked as the career center director at Liberty for a long time, and had just been a coach kind of as part of my professional career. And so that started to turn into the ask to come in and just teach teams and develop teams and take individuals to the next level, take teams to the next level. And so that was a huge honor, very high award. We're just very, very humbled and blessed for that.
Well, you're right, because customer service is so important. I cannot stress that enough.
It'll make or break
Yep.
a business, definitely.
True.
Absolutely. And
Absolutely.
I don't like, I mean, if you give bad customer service, you're going to hear about that before you hear about anyone that gives you good customer service. And so I think
Absolutely.
that is extremely important, that you're going in and talking to businesses about how to train their staff, because, you know, they're the face of the company when people come in.
You know, and that's so true. I think, especially now, and I think even over what we've seen, despite the pandemic, we've lived in a heated season over this past year of seeing what damage social media can do. And so a lot of times it can really publicly damage a business. We've watched that happen here in our community. So it comes at a timely place in even our culture, where if we can go in and give a couple of like key principles or key skills of just going that second mile and really treating the guest with just the service and the expectation, anticipating needs. There's some specific goals that we try to teach in just terms of teaching those tools and those skills that anybody can use to kind of diffuse any situation.
And I think that's kind of the same for like Diane and I, because we have to do the same when we're looking at just our members. You know, we're trying to make sure that we're offering them the best service that we can. So I think it kind of goes both ways when you're looking at servicing like individual customers or even servicing businesses, like other businesses that may be working with your company.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually working on a workshop right now that's going to go to 3 different businesses in 3 different industries. And it's all about how to have better dialogue, how to have better conversations, because let's be honest, we've all had to sit across from a guest or a customer and, you know, they're angry or they're mad and diffuse that. Or we've also maybe had to sit across a colleague or a coworker and give them maybe some not positive feedback in an employee review. And so whether they're on the executive level or simply even just the guest level, I've created a workshop that is going to be taught over the next couple of months to, again, just a couple different businesses. And it applies to everybody. Any one of us who wants to have better dialogue and better conversations could use this workshop.
I probably should sign up for that. I don't like conflict. So
Is that so you know how to talk to me?
Yeah, so when Diane's next review comes up, I'll know what to say to
Heather
her.
needs a workshop first.
I'd love to come in. I mean, honestly, that's the number one thing when with Chick-fil-A specifically. You know, you're dealing with a younger leader, and sometimes this is maybe their first leadership job. But I can tell you, it doesn't just apply to Chick-fil-A. It applies in other industries where most people either go to fight or flight in conflict. They either withdraw or void, or they attack and become defensive. And so knowing that about ourselves and then putting, again, some specific principles and strategies in place to help better have a different conversation can really help you to just kind of stop, take a breath, retrace your steps, we all tell ourselves stories, and this is kind of a piece of it, but I might hear you say something, and my interpretation of that has maybe twisted it a little bit. And maybe that's not what you said or meant or even implied, but I'm starting to fill in the gaps, maybe where there's missing information with a story that I tell myself. And that immediately starts to shape how I feel or maybe even respond. And so it's just teaching people to be aware of their behaviors and their emotions, and then giving them a better strategy for a different response.
So if someone is listening, if there's a business listening today, and they want to contact you about any of these workshops, what's the best way for someone to get in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely. My email is Carrie-Lynn Wright, CarriellynnWright@gmail.com, and they can just reach out to me with any requests. A lot of these are maybe specifically geared towards customer service and conflict resolution and different things like that. But I've also been able to customize different workshops for different teams that might be struggling with a specific area or need.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today and talking with us. I know last year I was so excited to be able to give you the Young Professional Athena Award for all of your hard work, the things that you're doing just like this as a woman leader in our area. And, it was, like I said before, it was my pleasure to give you that award. And I'm so excited to, be able to still talk with you and, let people know that they can work with you as well.
Thank you, Heather. It has been my pleasure, truly, to be a part of your organization and just all that you're doing to empower women. I made some contacts last year at the Empower event that I still have been able to do business with, and have some of them have become social media brand ambassadors for us and have gone shopping in their places of business. And so just love and appreciate and support what you're doing in the community as well, and also just what you're doing to help support and empower women. So thank you for the opportunity today, but also for that award. That was such a humbling honor, and I'm just truly grateful for all you're doing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I am hoping we will see you soon.
Yes, definitely. We'll have to plan a lunch date about conversations, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Sounds good.
Have a great day, Carrie.
All right, thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
So we are, oh my gosh, that is crazy. I was just going to say we did not have a train come through, and we literally have 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Before the show is over. So, if you are quick on the trigger, call in for your train, Liberty Station Restaurant. Our train is sponsored by Brown's Heating and Air.
That one's
I know, right? Nothing can stop a train. Apparently.
Somebody is quick, Heather.
Somebody is quick.
This is a not a frequent caller, but I'm going to put them through right now for you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, you're on the air. May I ask who's calling?
Hey, this is Mike with Visiting Angels.
Mike with Visiting Angels.
Hello.
You are quick. Look at you. So
I am quick. I've been waiting for that train.
I was seriously sitting here going, oh my gosh, there's no train
It's
today.
probably just him outside with a horn.
Is that who you saw looking in the window at the beginning of the show? Oh, Mike, that's
So
great.
I talked to Libby a couple minutes ago, and she did offer to go by and just yell train so that I could call in. So
That's fantastic. I would have, if she'd have come in the door and done that, I would have, it'd have been great. But thank you so much for listening and calling, and I will get that gift certificate to you.
sounds great.
Thanks, Mike.
So, wow, we're at the end.
Thanks.
That was a quick show.
It was.
That went by really quick. So tell us, who do we have next week?
Who do we have next week?
We have Sabrina East.
We do. And we have Mr. Woody over
yes.
here.
Mr. Woody.
Oh, I didn't have the drum roll ready. Sorry.
I don't know. I can't do a drum roll. But we're going to be talking with Sabrina East with Jump Into Mystery and talking about what she does either virtually or in person that you can attend, and sounds like a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll be bringing Woody in to talk with him about Watts Creative and some of the other podcasts he works with and shows that he handles. So we're excited for that.
Yeah. We've got a lot going on.
We will see you next Tuesday. Make sure if you have missed any of our other episodes, you can check us out wherever you find your podcast, or you can listen back on Grove Street FM daily from 12 to noon from noon to 1 to catch past episodes.